March 24th, 1999. The air over the Balkans was cold, sharp, and electric with tension. Inside a stealth fighter jet slicing through the darkness was Lieutenant Colonel Dale Zelko of the United States Air Force. It was the opening night of NATO bombing of Yugoslavia. The world believed his aircraft was invisible. The Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk, the pride of American stealth technology, had never been shot down in combat. It was untouchable. Until that night. Below him, hidden in fields outside a small Serbian village, a quiet, patient commander waited. Zoltan Dani, leading a missile battery of the Yugoslav Air Force, had been studying flight patterns for days. He knew the Americans followed routine. He knew stealth wasn't magic. He waited. At 8:41 p.m., radar screens flickered. A ghost appeared. Dani gave the order. 2 surface-to-air missiles screamed into the night sky. Inside the cockpit, alarms exploded. Warning lights, screaming tones. The jet shuddered violently. Zelko's heart slammed in his chest as orange fire blossomed on his wing. The unthinkable had happened. The stealth jet was hit. Flames swallowed the aircraft. Controls failed. Hydraulics gone. The sky, once his domain, turned into a burning cage. At 13,000 feet, with seconds left, he pulled the ejection handle. The canopy blew. The explosion tore him into the freezing March air. The jet disintegrated above him, a fireball falling over enemy territory. He hit the ground hard in a muddy field. Silence. Then dogs barking in the distance. Villagers shouting. Search teams were coming. Alone, injured, deep behind enemy lines, Zelko buried his parachute and crawled into a drainage ditch. He moved only at night. He whispered into his survival radio, praying someone could hear him. Back at base, commanders feared the worst. A stealth pilot captured would be a propaganda nightmare, or worse. For 6 terrifying hours, he lay motionless in freezing darkness while Serbian troops combed the countryside. Flashlights cut through the fields only yards away. One wrong breath, and it would be over.
Finally, just before dawn, a coded response crackled through his headset. Rescue was coming. 2 Sikorsky MH-60 Pavehawk helicopters crossed into hostile airspace, escorted by fighter jets. It was a suicide mission if spotted. They descended into a small clearing. Zelko sprinted from hiding as the helicopters hovered inches above the ground. Gunfire echoed in the distance. Hands grabbed him, dragged him inside. The helicopters lifted off, barely escaping as Serbian forces closed in.
By sunrise, he was safe. But something irreversible had happened. The invincible stealth myth had shattered. For the first time in history, a Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk lay broken in enemy soil. And on both sides of that battlefield were men who had simply done their duty. Years later, something unexpected happened. The American pilot and the Serbian commander met face to face, not as enemies, but as fathers and survivors of war. They shook hands. Because in March 1999, under a burning sky, both men stared into death and lived. But many others in that war did not. And somewhere in the fields of Serbia, fragments of black metal still whisper a reminder. Even the invisible can fall.